Today we're going over the New Heroes banner for February 2026. To start off the next year of Fae, we have brand new, never before seen Harmonic Brave pairs of Hector and Ephraim, along with Celica and Veronica. I guess we're really doing this, huh? The third unit of this banner at least bothered to get a new outfit, and that is Chosen Fjorm, empowered by Niffle. We'll talk about everyone's stats and skills, plus discuss some build ideas. The second Choose Your Legends Harmonic pairs start off with the GBA Armored Bros. As a Lance Armor, Hector has 48 HP, 49 attack, 21 speed, 49 defense, and 45 res. He has a defense super boom and is mostly min-maxed. Hector does have higher speed than some other armors, but that 21 base speed is incredibly important. This is because Hector will come with Patience. If he can reach 30 speed before battle, then Hector can get access to the guaranteed potent follow-up, and he has a unique way to abuse it. Hector's other ode skill is Attack and Demon's Briarfire save for the usual save your playstyle. Hector has the heroic Motet. For foes within 3 rows or columns, inflict -5 stats, guard, defensive tempo, and foes take 50% DR piercing. For himself, Hector has 80% AoE special damage reduction. He has Slaying with +10 stats in combat, 25 true damage, and 15 Excel type flat damage reduction. Last, Hector gets -2 instant cooldown before his first follow-up attack. Generally speaking, 80% DR versus AoE specials is pretty nice to have. Support-wise, Hector does focus on anti-specials with guard and defensive tempo. If the foe doesn't have no guard or instant cooldown, they're not charging their special. For his unique A skill, Hector has Ostean Backbone. For Hector and allies within 3 spaces, they get No-C Disrupt to always counter back, and if the foe initiates, then Hector and his team can make a follow-up before the foe's next attack. In other words, this is enemy phase desperation. Now for other personal effects, Hector gets +5 HP and +9 flat stats. He gets Distant Counter, no surprise. Hector will deal 7 true damage and gain 7 flat DR. He gets no guard, and last, neutralizes effects that would allow the foe to make a follow-up attack before Hector's next attack. Hector has No-C Disrupt to always fight back, and he has part of Hardy Bearing. Specifically, Hector only cancels enemy desperation effects. This is important because Hector gives his team enemy phase desperation. Ostean Backbone gives 9 flat stats, which will get Hector to 30 speed exactly. This activates Patience's guaranteed potent follow-up, which is going to get used by the enemy phase desperation effect on this skill. Essentially, you can't cheese Hector with sweep effects or desperation. Meanwhile, Hector will try to cheese you with his own desperation plus Patience combo. To try and take advantage of the guaranteed follow-up, Hector has a brand new inheritable armored special. Armored Flare is a 5 cooldown special that deals 100% defense as its damage scaling. It comes with 40% guaranteed DR, and it can activate twice per combat, not just once. For other effects, Armored Flare grants a passive +2 great talent attack and defense every single turn. Should you trigger this special in battle, you get another +4 attack and defense after combat, and this can max out at +10 great talent. Army units no longer need to run Comet or Arch Rival if you want guaranteed 40% DR. In addition, this 40% DR works on any 2 hits, meaning you can tank the first 2 Brave hits, or 1 regular hit plus 1 follow-up attack. However, do not run Armored Flare with Twin Save, it's not going to do anything, unless they want to introduce a triplet save skill in the future. Now, there is one issue with Armored Flare, it is 5 cooldown without any other cooldown accelerating effects. Any scout type effect could prevent Armored Flare from activating in the first round of combat pretty easily. For their Harmonic skill, Hector and Ephraim will give resonant shields to allies from Blazing Blade or Sacred Stones. They can grant an extra action to the highest HP ally from those titles, or if none of those exist, then Hector himself gets to go again. This should seem familiar because, like the entire visual concept of these units, they're just copied the same Harmonic skill from Brave Ike and Roy. I respect the commitment to not even trying to do something different. Generally speaking, Harmonic Brave Hector is doing his usual distant counter saving, just with No-C Disrupt this time and the ability to stop desperation. Assuming you don't have a Speed Bane, Hector's kit is trying to use Patience's guaranteed potent hit for the enemy phase desperation 2-tap. The follow-up will get -2 instant cooldown via Motet, and this should be enough cooldown to proc Armored Flare's big nuke damage. Now, if the enemy survives, then Armored Flare can protect Hector on follow-ups. However, if the foe has a 3rd potent hit or is quadding Hector, then yeah, Armored Flare won't help there. Ideally, Hector's 2-tap will end the fight before it gets to that point. Unfortunately, Briar's damage reflection part isn't going to be with the Armored Flare proc. If you wanted, Hector could technically run Arch Rival or Comet like any other armor. With extra cooldown from, say, Special Fighter, there is potential for an instant special counterattack stacking with Briar's damage reflection. Armored Flare is going to stack great talent though. to get more HP and stats, Hector is free to run the Squad A Seals, or you can use Slick or Wily Fighter to ignore Bust/Debust. For other skills, Hector could use Deflect for brave hits, in the C slot, Breath of Life for healing or Fatal Smoke to deal with Miracle. Hector could go on the move with Shroud Assault, but be warned that initiating will not give Hector Desperation. If you still keep Patience, then that means the enemy will attack first, Hector counters back, then the enemy gets to follow up like normal. Overall, this Hector gets some modern tank skills and will not be ignored by super effects. He could wipe out squishies before they follow up, but Armored Flare is definitely preventable. To spice things up, you could try to give Hector Brave Attack support, more cooldown perks, or perhaps bust out Vantage via, say, Bernie's Paranoia or something. Considering Hector's No See Disrupt and Enemy Phase Desperation perks can be given to the team, you could make a fun Savior combo with another unit. If Hector's around, you may need to be careful about who you initiate on, even if Savior isn't involved. The next Harmonic Brave unit is Celica and Veronica. Veronica is a sword infantry with 40 HP, 47 attack, 49 speed, 38 defense, and 30 res. Fairly standard speedy swordmaster stats, and Celica has a speed super boon. For old skills, Celica has Arch Rival for her special and Endless Tempest. A lot of units like Brutal Tempest because of its absurd Kanto effect, but if you have Celica's new Kanto skill, then may as well get the low effect of Endless. Before we get to passives, Celica's weapon is the Sister's Blade. For Celica and allies within 3 rows or columns, grant plus 15 stats for Celica and plus 5 stats for allies. Everyone will get full tempo effects and bread type cooldown effects. Now for Celica herself, she will have Sling and heals 7 HP after combat. She deals 25 true damage per hit and has 15 Excel type flat DR. Long range tempo and bread type cooldown is quite nice for just about any team. The rest of these effects are pretty standard fare. This is because Sister's Blade also comes with Send Scale style. Like her Summer ult, Celica once again gets a 3 range attack style. Unlike the Summer ult, Celica does not cut her damage in half, and she actually gains 10 true damage when using Send Scale. The rest of the effects are common range style conditions, although Send Scale style does come with a 2-turn cooldown. With Endless Tempest's extra movement and this style, Celica has a 6 range attack zone. That's kind of what her Emblem form was doing with its warping ability. For her unique B skill, Celica has Wild at Heart. At start of turn and after acting, inflict -7 speed and defense, exposure, and sabotage on the closest foe and anyone within 2 spaces. Celica gets Brave attacks. She inflicts -5 attack, speed, and defense on the foe, deals 20% speed as true damage, and gains the same amount as flat DR. Last, Celica gets a miracle effect to survive a fatal blow. Send Scale and Double Lion are typically alms moves, but they are tied to the Royal Sword, which Brave Celica is wielding. Like before, Celica has Brave hits with good cooldown, and now she added her own range attack plus Miracle Flare into the mix. Wild at Heart also provides some stat debuffing along with more exposure, true damage. For her new Inheritable A skill, Celica introduces Swift Spectre. This is a melee infantry skill that comes with Conto Distance +1, oh boy. Now, if the user has more than 25% HP at the start of combat, or they're within 3 spaces of an ally, Swift Spectre grants +9 attack and speed, 7 true damage, and if you outspeed, you get full follow-up effects. If you have both the 25% HP condition and are near an ally, then you get an extra +3 attack and speed. Swift Spectre is a super jacked up, perfect attack and speed skill, but for melee infantry only. Instead of Brutal Tempest or Tumultuous Echo, you can now get Conto Distance in the A slot, and this is a no follow-up skill for the faster units. It will build out of attack and speed ideal 3, so it's very easy to inherit. It just has more stats and extra true damage over its so-called perfect counterpart. If you don't need the flat DR of Duelist Blow, then Swift Spectre's quite the A skill. Like their previous CYO pair, Celica and Veronica's Harmonic skill is the same as Lyn and Lucina. Instead of Resonant Shields, the girls grant Resonance Blades to Shadows of Valentia or Heroes units. Like the others, the skill grants an extra action to the highest HP ally from those titles, or just Celica herself if no one else is available. Unlike the 1-move army unit on this banner, Celica probably can get more value out of the extra action for herself. So, Celica's game plan is pretty clear cut. Unlike some of her other ults, Celica gets a ranged attack style and has Miracle to survive counterattacks. This Celica gets Brave hits and has lots of cooldown perks to charge the 5 cooldown Arch Rival or Comet. Swift Spectre gives no follow-up for quad potential, and Conto Distance allows for a smooth retreat. Celica also applies speed and defense debuffing, and has low from Endless Tempest. If she faces a green foe, Celica could trigger Arch Rival on the second Brave hit. If the foe survives and counters back, then Celica could get a second Arch Rival on the quad attack. While she could easily trigger Gust in 2 hits, the general trend of specials at the moment is just to hit as hard as possible with the higher cooldown, higher damage options. Arch-Rifle also comes with Guard to pair with Sister's Blade's tempo effect, and if you uncharge a green foe special, then it'll be even tougher for them to recover. For the skills, Comet could pre-charge itself for easier double activations. Celica could use Gale Force to charge up an AoE special to hit with her style, but she does appreciate the percentile specials. With skills like Potent or Patience, or just the anti-miracle effect, it's still good to have damage reduction, as Brave Celica isn't completely a glass cannon. For Sacred Seals, attack and speed clash is nice with the extra movement, or Finish 3 could add some bonus true damage. Celica could get that bonus Potent 3 hits, or run Desperation for later quad opportunities. With her debuffing statuses, Creation Pulse would help trigger Arch-Rival in 2 hits. Celica could run a self-buffing skill like Faith, or maybe just try the new Instruct 4. Attuned Alm does utilize great talent, and who knows what Harmonic Serial 3 Brave Alm has in store for us. All in all, Harmonic Celica and Veronica can be very aggressive, but could run into some issues if Miracle fails. You may want to try and charge Arch-Rival earlier rather than waiting for the quad attack to land. Fjorm enjoyed her Ice Tribe figure skates, so she retained those for her new Chosen ult, and has added some wings plus a very tall bowler hat. Fjorm is a Water Chosen hero and is a Lance Infantry again. She has 39 HP, 45 attack, 48 speed, 34 defense, and 38 res. Fjorm also has speed and res super boons. For ult skills, Fjorm has Duelist Blow to tank hits and Nelsia Void to counter back against sweep effects. It also gives 80% DR versus AoE specials and more flat DR to tank with. Fjorm's Chosen Lance activates at the start of either phase. Fjorm will grant Empathy, Dodge, and they'll follow up to allies within 2 spaces for 1 turn. I guess because she has wings, Fjorm has built-in contact distance +1. She has Slang and Distant Counter, gains +15 stats in combat, and deals 25 true damage. To continue tanking, Fjorm will also get the 15 Excel type flat DR. DC and Kanto aside, Fjorm provides decent speed focus support, Empathy for more stats, dodge % damage reduction, and no follow-up. She will need to stay near allies to hand those out though. Like other distant counter units, Fjorm's Chosen Lance style is a ranged attack style. Unlike Celica, this is just a regular 2 range attack, and exactly like Attuned Realma, Fjorm decreases the speed roll for doubling by 10 with this style. If Fjorm is within 5 speed of the enemy, she will get the double naturally. Along with the standard range attack style conditions, Fjorm can toss her lance every turn to get aggressive. Unless you need to get up close, no reason not to use this style when initiating. For her special, Fjorm has Frozen Mirror. After how many years, Fjorm has given up on defensive specials in favor of a damaging 3 cooldown offensive special. When it triggers, Fjorm deals 60% speed as damage. For all hits taken, Fjorm will get 40% unpierceable DR, except against AoEs. For her next attack, Fjorm will get full damage reflection based on the total damage reduced from the first hit. For the last part, Fjorm has a built-in Emblem Corrin Ring. Unless I missed something, I believe it is the exact same effect, so Fjorm sets up icicles to tiles within 2 spaces. For every other tile within 3 spaces, Fjorm lays down Vert Terrain. In case you forgot, Vert Terrain inflicts Contact Control, -5 attack and speed, guard, and scowl. It is very solid, and when you break Icicle Terrain, it turns into Vert Terrain instead. Special or not, Fjorm will turn the enemy's first hit back against them with your full damage reflection. This time, Fjorm gets an entire offensive special worth of damage to go with her Reflect. As usual, feel free to tack on the Reflect status for even more Uno Reverse card true damage. To bring her kit together, Fjorm comes with Speed and Res Faith, only the second variant in the series. At start of either phase, if within 2 spaces of an ally, grant +6 Speed and Res and Bulwark to the user. If Bulwark is active, you get +4 Speed and Res in combat, 5 flat DR, and -1 instant cooldown before the foe attacks. Faith builds out of O3 skills and is for melee infantry. I don't know why they didn't make more immediately because I think it's a decent enough skill line. For example, bonus double infantry units with attack and defense field buffing weapons can now get full field buffs along with Bulwark, flat DR, and cooldown. Let's go over Fjorm's game plan. In enemy phase, she can set up icicles and Vert Terrain. If foes get to Fjorm, they get scoured and hit by guard plus tempo. Fjorm's got Distant Counter and Nelsie Disrupt to fight back, and she gets -1 cooldown before the foe hits thanks to Fate. Tempo will guarantee another -1 cooldown when actually hit, so Frozen Mirror will be ready to counter. In addition, Fjorm gets the full damage reflection to fire back. Defensively, besides the cooldown perks, Fjorm has 40% unpierceable DR with 40% regular DR via dodge. Nelsia Void has Phantom Speed to help with that, and Fjorm stacks full flat DR passes to mitigate further. Fjorm will have bulwark to frontline and 80% DR versus AoE specials. The core and ring effects will stifle movement to further protect the team. Now when initiating, Fjorm has the same general idea except she needs to double the proc Frozen Mirror and use the damage reflection. She has no follow-up and her range attack style comes with a speed roll change to help out. For better initiations, you can swap Nocia Void and Faith out for more aggressive skills. Tempest for 3 movement and Burst or Pulse variants can provide cooldown for use for enemy phase tanking as a replacement for Faith. In the B slot, Fjorm could run finished B skills or Pair Up. Pair Up generally would be great, but if you want no C Disrupt for enemy phasing, then you need to keep a Void, or you need to find a friend like the new Hector. For Sacred Seals, extra HP from squatty seals would be nice, or Fjorm can run Deflect for Brave Attack Insurance. Hardy Bearing can be used if you think Fjorm will get outsped and defuse Desperation. Ideally, you don't want that to happen though. Now for more fun, Potent 3 or Finished Seals are options. At the moment, I don't think Fjorm wants any other A skill, although that can always change. In conclusion, Chosen Fjorm can set up Icicle and Vert Divine Veins while being another damage reflecting distant counter unit. She can also get a little offensive with her damage special and range attack style. That'll be it for this banner. I pretty much said my thoughts on these Harmonic Brave units last year, which is that generally I don't mind the idea of CWO Brave unit pairings, but the way they went about doing them is incredibly lazy, uninspiring, and frankly kinda insulting because these banners have no demotes and no Grand Hero battle units. These aren't permanent 5-star units, and they sure as hell aren't new heroes, so I don't really feel very positive about them. We got a grand total of 0 free-to-play friendly units this month, so happy anniversary, go spend your orbs I guess. It's a shame because I think Hector and Ephraim is a very cool duo, but wow, his execution of these alts just not really it for me. Don't worry though, these CWO rehashes are gonna continue at least until CWO 4. Intelligent Systems ain't missing out on that group, you can count on that. Thank you for watching, prepare for more new hero CWO pairs later this year, and I will see you in the next video.